Good luck.
Merhaba arkadaşlar, hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün Sigmund Freud'un ABD'de ders verdiği tek üniversite olan Clark Üniversite'de lisansüstü programları Lauren'den dinliyor olacağız. Lütfen sorularınızı questions kısmından sormayı unutmayın. Yes, Lauren, the stage is yours now.
Thank you, Zeynep. Hello, everyone. As Zeynep mentioned, my name is Lauren Scott. I'm the Assistant Director for International Recruitment at Clark University. And anytime you have any questions, just please put them in the questions chat and I'll get there. And I'm just going to start right off the bat since we don't have too much time together. Give me one moment to share my screen. Okay, can you all see my PowerPoint presentation?
Yes,
Zeynep?
we can see.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so you all are here to learn a little bit more about Clark University today. Specifically, I will be talking about graduate and postgraduate admissions work. So this isn't going to be pertaining to undergraduate students. We do have plenty of undergraduate programs that could be of interest. And if you do, please just email me and I can connect you to our undergrad admissions office. But today I'll be focusing on strictly our graduate programs. So I'll go over who we are, what programs we have available, and then what your experience as a student would be like. So this is the main building when you walk into Clark University's gates. And we were founded in 1887. We were the first all-graduate school in the United States of America. We have over 3,000 students on our campus. We are a small liberal arts school, and our graduate students make up about 1/3 of our population. Of those students, 60% of them are international students. We are an extremely international friendly campus and city. And again, to the point that we have a small campus, we keep our faculty to student ratio 10-1. And we purposely do this. We want you to be able to get to know your faculty member and the students in your classrooms to better network. And then lastly, I'll talk a little bit about our location in America. So this is always super important to students. We are a very highly ranked university. We have our School of Management that is AACSB accredited. This means all of our business and management, our finance programs are under this AACSB accreditation. Only 5% of schools worldwide get this accreditation, so we're very proud of it. For the US News, we consistently rate in the top 100 for best national universities in America. This year we placed in 103, but the previous 3 or 4 years we were in the top 100. And we're also listed at number 27 for best value school, and that number keeps going down. So we keep getting closer to the top here. What this means for best value school is between the amount you're paying, the education you're getting, and the job placement and salary that you earn after graduating. That is what goes into creating the best value ranking. It's not just, a higher ranking institution. It's all of that being taken into consideration. So we're very proud to be at number 27. And then you'll see the Times Higher Education has ranked us in a top 300 best world for small universities. And then we are also number 7 for world's best small university, which is a huge, huge win for us being under 3,500 students in a typical year. And then lastly, over here, we do rank number 18 for the happiest students, which is my favorite ranking. And that is from the Princeton Review. So Worcester. Clark University is located in Worcester, Massachusetts. This is right in the heart of New England, which is the upper northeast corner of America. You will see on this map, this heart is where Worcester is located. Right on this edge is where Boston is, and right here is Providence, and then New York. So we're right in the middle of 4 really great big cities in America. But the best part about this is we are much more affordable than any of those cities. So with New York, Boston, Providence come really large living price tags, and Worcester is a much more reasonable city to afford. We're the second largest city in New England, and we have over 13 colleges in our city, which means this is really a college town. This is a great place to go and connect with people. We have over 38,000 college students in Worcester. In Worcester, our population is made up of 21% immigrants, which you can see reflected in our streets and our businesses, our restaurants. It's a very lively community, colorful, plenty of different places to eat and go grocery shopping. So we have a lot of cultural grocery shops. So if there's something you miss from home, you can probably find it in Worcester. We're also going through a citywide rejuvenation, which means when you get to Worcester, you will see brand new sports stadiums being built, brand new areas for shopping, dining, and exploring, and a lot of new activities that are available to students within walking distance. We also have a train station that has 20 trains going to and from Boston daily. It's very easy to get to the surrounding areas. And we do enjoy all 4 seasons in the US. So you must be prepared for winter and very hot summers. These are some photos of what's around us. So this is our brand new sports stadium, which is walking distance from Clark University. These are a part of these new murals that we have up around campus. This is a cafe on our campus. We have lots of fun activities to do nearby, amazing art museums, and another great thing about Worcester is we're not only in an urban setting, we also around that are nearby mountains and the ocean, lakes, rivers, ponds. So if you are more interested in doing something like rock climbing, kayaking, going to the beach when you're not studying, we have that right outside our doors for you. So now for our schooling and departments. We have 5 main departments at Clark University. I will go through each one individually and share our programs. So make sure to pay attention to see a program you might be interested in, and feel free to put a question in the chat. So the first school I'll talk about is our International Development, Community, and Environment School, or IDCE. So Clark's motto is Challenge Convention and Change Our World, and this school really embodies that motto. All of these programs are 10 courses long. And when you see units, we do not go by credit hours at Clark University, we go by units. So whereas another school might have a class for 4 credit hours, that would be 1 unit at Clark University. So in total for these 3 programs in the IDCE, you'll be taking 10 classes, and you can complete that within 18 months. So we have our Master's in Community Development and Planning, our Master's in International Development, and our Master's in Environmental Science and Policy. And you'll notice that this program and a few others are labeled STEM, and I'll speak a little bit more about that after. And then lastly, for the IDCE, we have our MS in Geographic Information Science. This program is the only one in this school that is actually 12 courses long, and it takes 2 years to complete. You also need to start in the fall for this one, whereas these programs, you can start in the fall or spring. So for the admissions requirements, you'll see over here that the GMAT and the GRE are not required. And you do need to have background or work experience in these areas though. So what they really want to see here is that you have a true interest and you're going to really use your degree after Clark University in the field that you're studying in. They really care about seeing a great statement of purpose and a really good resume to make sure you're a good fit for the program. This school is all about making sure that you fit into that puzzle. And then you'll see here on this screen, this piece is going to be the same on all 4 of our schools. So these are our English requirements. You will need to show your English test scores unless you are from a native English speaking country. So this is TOEFL. You need to have an 85 for direct entry. IELTS is a 6.5. We do accept Pearson's and Duolingo, ELS, or EC English. All of those are just different forms to prove your English level. And if you don't have those, we can help you with that as well. So say your English level is not there for direct entry, we have great programs that will help you work on your English before, and I will speak to those at the end of this. So then for tuition and scholarships, you'll notice that our GIS program is just over $72,000 US without scholarship. This is our highest price point at Clark University. And then the other programs for the IDCE all are just over $60,000. The great news that I have for you today is that we do have scholarships up to 50% for IDCE students. And we even have a scholarship that's specific to Turkish students. So I will be speaking to that at the end. But we do award plenty of scholarships at Clark University, 90% of our students do get a scholarship of some type, and this school specifically gives them up to from 10 to 50%. Our next school is the School of Professional Studies. This school is all of these programs. They take 10 classes and you can complete them in 18 months. These programs are really made for students who are still working or who need to have a little bit more time in their schedules, and they really elevate you in your career now. So it's great to have somebody with prior experience who's working in the field, because this program will really just elevate you to your next step. So we have our MS in communication, public administration, information technology, data analytics, project management, and as of fall 2022, we will also have a degree in computer science available, which we're very excited about. For this school, you are going to need a minimum of 2.8 for your US GPA. The GMAT and the GRE are not required. We do want to see relevant work experience and, again, good English scores. But if your English scores aren't high enough, we do, again, have pathway and English language programs for you to take. And you'll notice here that the price points are much lower than for our IDCE. This is the most affordable school that we have at Clark University, and it's under $30,000. And again, you can complete all of these in 18 months, and we still offer scholarships between 10 to 30%. And then we have our School of Management, which these programs are AACSB accredited, that 5% of schools who get this worldwide. These programs are all between 10 to 12 classes long, depending on the program, and they can be completed within 18 months. They have our MBA, accounting analytics, business analytics, finance, management, marketing, and marketing analytics. And again, you'll see plenty of STEM designated programs, and I'll speak to that at the end. Our admissions requirements for the School of Management are a little higher. So we want to see a 3.0 GPA. We really like to see GMAT and GRE, but we do give waivers for those. We can be pretty flexible with that. The same English admissions requirements exist. And then for our tuitions and scholarships, you'll notice that these are right in the middle of where Clark's price points sit. So they're not our most expensive programs and they're not our least expensive, but we still offer 10 to 50% in scholarship, typically with it being higher. So our Clark MBA program is near and dear to our heart. It's one of our most beloved programs here. We offer 7 different concentrations. And the reason I have dedicated a whole slide to this is because we have exciting news about it. So we are making sure that our standards of admission are higher. You need a 3.0 minimum, and you have to take the GMAT or the GRE. But what's great is if we have a very strong candidate this year, we are willing to give scholarships between 50 and 100%. These scholarships are going to be reserved for top tier students who have very high GPAs, great work experience. They've taken the GMAT or the GRE. But what's great is if you want to be in our MBA program and you haven't taken the GMAT or the GRE, you can apply for the MBA, start in our Masters of Marketing program, and then we'll automatically switch you to the MBA after your first semester as long as you keep a 3.2 GPA. So we do that to make it so that it's still accessible to our students who weren't able to take those tests. Our last school here that's not speaking about English is our Becker School of Design and Technology. This program is really exciting to us. It's brand new. We just took it over from another university. It's a 24-month program and it's 15 classes. Okay, and this is our Master's in Fine Arts and Interactive Media. It's at about 72,000 US dollars, and our admissions requirements are a little bit nicer for students. We don't need GMAT or GRE or letters of reference. We do need a personal statement. We want to see a good portfolio, and we want to see a 2.8 minimum GPA. And this program also will offer scholarships to students. They're still working out the amounts on those, so I haven't included them in here. But if an MFA program is something you're interested in, please reach out to me and we can talk about the details. The last piece that I really want you to know about in terms of our education is we offer the American Language and Culture Institute programs for students. These programs are for students who do not have direct admit English scores. So say your TOEFL is at a 75 and not an 85, this program is for you, okay? So these happen on Clark's campus. You're immediately considered a Clark student. You have access to all of our facilities, all of our activities, gym, tutors, transportation, any excursions we do. And students who end up in these programs have a 97% success rate going into our degree programs. So the Pathway program is 1 semester. You take 2 English courses and 2 content courses in your program. The only school that doesn't offer that is our IDCE and our Becker School of Technology. So even if you don't have a Pathway course available, you could take our EAS courses, which are just more intensive English focused. These tuitions for the Pathway are just under $16,000. And for the EAS, which is our ELS program, it is just over $11,000. You'll notice that both of these programs are much lower in tuition, and they both have great scholarship availability for you. So housing. So Clark University has plenty of housing options nearby. We do have on-campus housing for our graduate students, and the range will be dependent on whether you want a single room or multiple roommates and what kind of room you want. You'll see here that the minimum is around $4,300 depending on the room, and then the highest is around $8,600 for an academic year. And then if you don't get on-campus housing, because we do have a smaller amount of housing than we do students, then there is plenty of off-campus housing that is walkable from Clark University. Most students find an apartment a less than 10-minute walk from campus, and those costs can be much lower. So you could be paying $300 a month for a room, or even up to $750. We use this great website here called Jump Off Campus that allows you to search your perfect room situation. So you can put in, I want all girls for roommates. I want 2 roommates, 1 bedroom, or 2 bedrooms, or 3 baths, whatever you're interested in, whatever is good for your price point. And then that website will show you only what is available with those filters so that you can more easily access those landlords and start making contracts. Then for student activities, Clark has over 130 student clubs and organizations. We have everything from performing arts, there's political clubs, sports, environment, there's community-based ones. So anything that you're interested in that you want to get involved with at Clark University, we will have something for you. You just need to message them when you get here, or attend a club fair and start meeting the people. We also have frequent year-round events, both on and off campus. We have great fitness classes and facilities. We have a full-size pool that you can work out in, plenty of gyms with basketball hoops, sports fields, intramural sports. So we're a very active campus, very active community. Every year we host an international gala, which is in the spring, and showcases dance and music performed by students to celebrate the community that they came from, which this is a really big event. This top photo is one of the finale dances of many of our international students. It is international focused, and it's a great time for our students. Lastly, we have Spree Day, which is when we cancel all of our classes and we just have food trucks. We bring activities like rock walls, live music, different activities to campus. And we just give our students a day to relax, get to hang out with faculty and students and friends right before exams start. So student resources, these are the things that really push Clark over the top for me. So right here is one of the entryways into our largest library on campus. This is where the academic commons are. There's study spaces, there's a cafe. It's where you can hook up with internet technology if you need help. It's in the center of campus. It's got a lot of natural light, multiple levels. It's a beautiful library. In the library, we have a completely free writing center and tutoring offices for our students. We have health insurance, we have mental health counseling, we have a bookstore, athletic centers, and all of this is open to students as long as they are Clark students, even if they are in our English programs and not taking our degree programs yet, we still offer that for our students. We also have 24/7 Clark Safety and Security. We have University Police. And you'll see on this bottom photo, there's a van and a student running to it. So we offer completely free transportation for our students to get around Clark or around Worcester. So our goal here is to make sure that our students stay safe no matter what they're doing and who they're with. We want to make sure that you have a safe ride to and from campus. So all you need to do is call our student escort number, and this van will pick you up wherever you are on campus or off campus in Worcester, within a certain mile radius, and bring you to your destination. And it operates from 4 in the afternoon until 4 in the morning. So again, our goal here is to keep our students very safe. And you'll see on the bottom here, we are expanding that shuttle service to be even more convenient and flexible for our students. So career services. Every one of the schools that I've talked about today has their own career service department. So these departments will help students with their OPT or CPT, which is like optional or curricular practicum training. This is what allows you to work on or off campus. And they will also host job fairs for students. They'll bring alumni back to be a panel so you can ask your questions to students who graduated from Clark University and work in the field that you want to work in now. Sometimes they arrange trips to go to Bloomberg headquarters in New York City. They sharpen skills with new professional development programs that we run with Unum. You'll notice these logos over here. These are just some of the places that we've had students place in internships or get jobs after graduating, but we have quite an incredible list of places that alumni have gone to. We also bring our students to attend conferences and go to different educational opportunities. And this is all done through the career services. They'll help you with resumes, cover letters, applications. They'll interview you so that you're prepared for real interviews. They're really very well developed. So after graduation, so you may have heard me talking about OPT and CPT. These are the programs that allow students the eligibility to work in the United States after they graduate. All students that graduate from Clark University are eligible to work in the US for 12 months, as long as it's in a field that relates to what they graduated in for 12 months. If you attended a STEM program at Clark University, so analytics or GIS, something of that nature, you have 36 months that you can work in the US. That's 3 years, as long as you're working in your field of study. Because of our location, you also will see a lot of students being placed in Worcester, Boston, or New York, since those are very close to where we are. But we've had students placed all over the country. And then after internships, after this OPT is over, we see them placed in many other countries as well. Worcester is a very well-developed city, but it's also growing. We have over 5,000 businesses that can provide employment opportunities for our students. So we are in a great location if you did want to get that US work experience. So we're almost to the end of this presentation. So I hope you're writing your questions down. To make this part easy, I wanted to put in our application details. We have an online application that's very easy and simple to fill out. What we're going to ask of you is transcripts, a personal statement, and a resume. And then most of our programs will ask for 2 letters of recommendation and the GMAT and GRE, but this is easily waived. The only school that you don't need the letters of recommendation is for our fine arts in our Becker School of Design and Technology. The application fee is typically $75 US, but if you use an agent, then that application would be waived. And you will typically get your decision back within 2 to 3 weeks. We're pretty quick at reviewing our applications, and we're currently reviewing applications for spring 2022 and fall 2022 right now. So you can apply to them pretty late into the semester, but you do have a greater chance at receiving a better scholarship if you apply sooner than later. And then this is my contact information. I will leave this here as I will be getting this information out to you afterwards. But I also wanted to include a quick reference guide if you had any questions about your eligibility into programs. So that makes up the entirety of my presentation here. I'm going to stop the sharing so that I can allow time for us to answer some questions. Just give me a moment. Okay. Plenty of questions. Thank you all. So the GPA, I have a question on here. Is GPA very important for masters? So that depends on the program really, and it depends on the school that you're going to. So for Clark University, we really like to see a GPA at 2.8 or higher. For our MBA program or our School of Management, which those are our finance and management courses, we do want to see like a 3.0 GPA. But if you do have something like a 2.8, 2.9, even 2.7, that can be worked with as long as you have good work experience or if you have a really strong statement of purpose. Okay, and then I have another question. Zainab, I'm curious, should I be hitting start live answer when I answer a specific question?
Yes, you can do that too.
Okay, thanks. So do you have 2+2 dual degree programs with Turkish Foundation private universities? We do not have a 2+2 program for dual degrees or any partnerships with Turkish institutions right now. We do have a couple of dual degrees, but these are a dual MBA finance or dual MBA accounting degrees right now. We typically find that because they take longer to complete, that more international students will prefer to do the MBA and then take a concentration. And we do have programs from universities in Poland and China that allow students to do some undergrad and then go into graduate work after that. For Turkish students in total, I would say in this last year, I can't give you a total number as of this moment, but I'd say I probably reviewed over 20 Turkish applications this past semester, and they will be going into the fall 2022 school year. So we are trying to build up our presence in Turkey, and I do have exciting news that I want to share with you all. We have just been approved to launch a scholarship for our Turkish students. So that means if a Turkish student does apply to Clark University, if you get accepted, you will be receiving a specific amount for your scholarship. The amount is still being worked out, but it will probably be between 30 to 50%, no matter what program you're in. So if you have a program that you are interested, feel free to reach out to me. Let me know you're applying, or if you have any questions about the application process, because we are excited about that opportunity. It's brand new. So as soon as I get more information, I will also be sharing it out with IEFT Talks so that they can advertise for us with more information. In terms of Turkish faculty members, I do not know if we have Turkish faculty members. That is a really good question. I would really like to know a breakdown of our faculty as well. We do have a lot of international faculty, and we kind of keep them on a rolling basis to improve the diversity in our faculty base. It's also depending on how long they want to stay in the US. So that's a really great question, and hopefully I can get you some more information about that. I'll put my email in the chat. So if anyone has any questions that we weren't able to get to, just email me and we can talk. Yes, we do have a dual degree program in Warsaw, Poland, as I mentioned. And if you're interested in going through Poland, then I can give you contact information for our Dean of International Programs. So it might be a good idea for us to connect via email. So is there any GPA requirements for the pathway program? This will be based on, oh, one second. The GPA requirements for this program are going to be whatever program you apply for. So pathway does not have a GPA requirement. You can take the pathway program and only that. You don't need to go into a degree program. You're welcome to take our pathway or our ELS programs individually and just stop at that point. There are not GPA requirements for them. There's just going to be English requirements. So to get into the pathway program, you'll need a 75 TOEFL or a 6 in IELTS, I believe. Yes, that's great news. And feel free again to email me about those programs. I actually worked in that department for over a year before this. So I'm happy to talk a little bit more in depth about those programs. Yeah, you just need to have your English scores though. So we have another question, and this one is about the pandemic and the situation at our campus, city, and state. So for Clark University, we have done a phenomenal job containing the COVID virus. We used over $11 million, with an M, last year to make sure that we had adequate testing and quarantine sites for our students. So all of our students were required to get tested 3 times a week last year. And we had plenty of quarantine housing if a student did get sick and needed care. And then we also had quarantine services available. Today, and where we are now, we are requiring people wear masks indoors. You're required to be vaccinated, but you can apply for an exemption and be rewarded that exemption based on a few things, such as religion, or if you were vaccinated in another country, or if you're pregnant, things of that nature, you can get an exemption for. We have only gotten 6 positive cases on Clark's campus this semester, and we are continuing a good streak. So students are having to get tested twice a week. Faculty needs to get tested once a week if they are vaccinated. And we are seeing numbers increase in the state of Massachusetts, but not as high as some other areas in the US. Massachusetts is generally a pretty good place. They have a really good pandemic response. And Clark University has a great team that's filled with medical doctors, CEOs of local hospitals, and some of our other faculty members and department members at Clark University. So they're meeting every single week to make informed decisions about COVID. But Clark University is actually a really great place to be for the pandemic because we are taking great precautions and still getting our students the education they want. When does registration for the next semester open? So we have already started accepting applications for January, which is our spring semester. And we've already started accepting applications for fall 2022, which starts in September. So right now you can apply to those programs. You can get your decision within 2 to 3 weeks and find out that you were admitted. And then after that part, you would register for your classes for spring in probably December. And then you would register for your classes for the fall around June of the spring semester. So you have a while to prepare your materials if you want to. Again, we are rolling admissions, so we don't have a firm deadline for you to apply. But again, it's better to apply sooner rather than later so that you have a higher likelihood of reaching a greater scholarship amount. Also, because the pandemic is happening worldwide, we are able to process your application and get you your I-20 document, which you need to have to study abroad and get a visa in the US very quickly. That is not a problem for Clark University. However, the biggest issue we see is some countries, maybe their embassy is closed or they're not issuing visas because they don't have enough workers. So again, I really recommend you apply sooner rather than later so that you can start getting those documents prepared and get into Clark in time. All right, we have another question. Do you have face-to-face mixed and online distance education this fall? Yes. So we are primarily operating in person this fall. And again, that is because we've taken very good precautions to be able to do that in person. We find that students working virtually, they'll be successful. They want to continue their education, but overwhelmingly, they wanted to come back to campus. And we were able to support that being such a small campus. However, we do have some online learning. The School of Professional Studies, which is like our communications, IT, things of that nature, we can support those online. But then there's other programs such as the International Development, Community, and Environment programs. So that's GIS, environmental science, community development and planning, international development. Those programs need to happen in person. So the answer to your question is yes, we have all of those. However, it depends on the program, and that is because some programs require in-person lab time and different softwares that have to be done on campus, whereas others can be done more remotely. For instance, I'm currently going through a communications program at Clark University, and I'm doing it entirely online. So those options do exist. You just need to specifically talk about your program. My contact information is in the very first message that I sent on this, and I will resend it after I'm done answering all of these questions to make it easier. So We have a question about a master's in psychology and what the GPA requirement will be. So Clark University does not have a master's in psychology program. What we do have is a PhD program for psychology. So students that are interested in getting their undergraduate degree in psychology, we do have that program. And then we again have the PhD program for them. So the PhD programs are reviewed differently than the master's programs. So if you are interested in pursuing the psychology in PhD, then please reach out to me and I can give you the contact information for the person who will be directly reviewing your application. Okay. Do we offer English preparation year? If we can get a good level TOEFL, can we take English course at university, Clark University? Yes, so those would be our pathway or our ELS program. So pathway is if you have like a high enough type TOEFL or IELTS score, that'll be about a 75 for TOEFL, 6.6 or 5.5 for IELTS. If it's lower than that, then you would not do our pathway yet. You would go into our ELS, which is our actually EAS, English Academic for Success program. That program is the one that focuses intensely on English. You'll be taking reading and writing and speaking and listening courses for the entire semester. And then after you've completed level 4 of the ELS or EAS program, you would then go into pathway if that program exists for that program. Once you complete pathway, you would then go into your degree program. That being said, if you know that you are direct admit, you've gotten into your program, you don't need to take English, but you would like to take the English program to strengthen your English, we absolutely allow that. We love to see the students' dedication to that, and we can absolutely work with you on it. So I wouldn't say that it's an English prep year so much as it could be a semester, it could be 2 semesters or more. It just depends on where you are in your English learning and where you need to be to go into our programs. Okay. So, can international students work to pay for their educational expenses? Yes, they can. We do have international students work on campus immediately when they get here. Something to keep in mind, though, is that we have more students than we do have student jobs, which is true of any university. That makes a lot of sense. We want to be able to employ all of our students, but there just simply wouldn't be enough work for all of those students. So immediately when you get to campus, you can apply. As soon as you're accepted into Clark University, actually, you can apply for a position at Clark with an assistantship for a teacher or doing an on-campus job in the bookstores or something like that. And you can do that for the entire time you are at Clark. And then after being on Clark for 2 semesters consecutively, you can then apply to work off campus through CPT or OPT. And that is US policy. That's not a Clark rule. That's just all United States universities are required to have international students be present on campus for 2 semesters before going into off-campus work. But I will also mention that between the scholarships, your on-campus job, and whatever funding you bring, you should be guaranteed, you should make sure you have the funds to pay for your education, because that would be an unfortunate situation if you were here in October and something couldn't work out. Okay, let's see. How is COVID-19 vaccination program at your campus? So on Clark campus, all students and staff have been mandated to get the vaccine if they want to be on campus. So you can work remotely or be online and you don't need to take the vaccine, or you can be on campus and have taken whatever vaccine is approved by the WHO. So you can take Johnson & Johnson's vaccine, which is 1 jab, or you can take Pfizer, Moderna, or others, which is 2. Whatever vaccine you take, you just need to make sure it was approved by the WHO. If you have already taken a vaccine in your country that is not on those lists, you would just apply for that exemption at Clark University that I mentioned previously. and you could probably get approved for that. We just want to see that what we want to see is 95% of our students and staff get vaccinated so that we have a herd immunity on campus. Do we have representatives in Turkey? So not yet, but this is exciting news for us. This fall, we are actually going to be taking 2 trips to Turkey. We're very excited about this. We're hoping to work on some agent relationships so that we can have those representatives for us in Turkey. And we are also looking into maybe possibly doing partnerships as well. So we used to have a very large Turkish presence on Clark University's campus whenever there was a government scholarship program in Turkey. Now what we would like to do is foster another Turkish community on Clark's campus. And so we're going to be doing that in the next year or so. And that's going to start in October. We will actually be starting to travel in Turkey and developing those relationships so we can have representatives in Turkey. Is campus close to city center if we rent an apartment from the city center? Yes. So city center is less than 1 mile from campus. So you could, depending on who you are and what you like to do, if you were to get an apartment in city center, you could absolutely walk or bike to campus. We have public transportation as well. You can always take Uber or Lyfts to get to campus, but we have plenty of housing right around our university. Again, it's only 1 mile from downtown. So it's not even 1 mile. It's like 3/4 of a mile. And there's plenty of houses for rent and apartments for rent that are much closer to school than having to walk 3/4 of a mile. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Is there a Turkish restaurant close to your main campus? I can't think of the name of a Turkish restaurant, but I do not live in Worcester. I actually live an hour south. So I do not know all of the restaurants in Turkey, but I would not at all be surprised if there was a Turkish restaurant close by to downtown campus. I don't think it would be right next to campus, but I would be pretty sure that there is one in Worcester. So Sigmund Freud did not teach in an American university. What he did is he came and he gave guest lectures. And yes, he did come to Clark University. We're the only school in America that he did that with. And we actually have his statue on the center of our campus where he was known to deliver multiple lectures for us. So this is a great question. What do I do for graduate scholarship? So our scholarships are really, you don't have to do anything extra. When you apply, we're going to review your application to see if you're eligible for Clark University. And at the same exact time, we're going to award you the scholarship. So you don't have to check a box that you want scholarship. You don't have to put a second application in. You don't have to write a second statement of why you deserve the scholarship and what you'll use it for. You're automatically going to be reviewed for a scholarship amount. So it's super easy. We want this process to be as simple as easy for our students. Okay. I think I have now answered all of the questions.
Yes, thank you very much for your answers, Lauren.
Thank you. Yes. And so what I will do now is I will put my information in the chat box. Please feel free to email me with any other questions that you might have about Clark or studying in the US for your graduate degree or your specific programs. I'm happy to answer them. If you know what program you're interested in, please include that in your email. I can get you more and better information right away. But I'm happy to connect again. I'm really glad to have been here, and just reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you very much for your great presentation. We believe it was a really informative webinar for the attendees. And we had a lot of questions. You covered them all. Thank you for your answers too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You put your email on the chat box. So if they have any other questions, they can contact you with that email.
Yes, absolutely. I would be more than happy to communicate with anyone. And I'm going to resend one of my previous comments that has a little bit more information with links on how to get to our YouTube channel and to view what degrees we have. So anything you don't see, though, reach out.
Yes, thank you again. Also, I would like to thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Clark Üniversite ile ilgili diğer sorularınız için Laura'nın paylaşmış olduğu mail adresinden iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Aynı zamanda linkleri de incelemeniz faydalı olacaktır. Umarım sizin açınızdan da faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Yarınki webinarlarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, Lauren. It was a pleasure to have you in IEFT Talks.
Thank you all. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.